Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am making a magnesium lotion today. Guys, I got this formula from Keely at Soy and Shay, and I am a patron of hers, so thank you, Keely, for giving us a wonderful recipe. So I thought this was going to be one of those one-off things that I do. You know, I'll try something once, and then I really don't feel like this huge urge to keep making it over and over again. And it isn't even that this was a really hot seller for me. But it did sell, and I think it's something that I like having available for when people are requesting something along these lines. Our spring season is coming up. People are going to be out in their yards and they're working and they're going to be planting and they may have some sore muscles. So I want to have this available to those customers that are in need of a muscle relief cream of sorts. So I taped my making of this last year, guys, and then I never posted it. I just didn't like it. I didn't think I did a very good job. I don't know if I'm going to do any better now, but let's give her a go. I will also link Keely's patron account down in the description in case you want to check that out. I do think she is a wealth of knowledge, and I do learn so much from her, even after 8 years of business. And I will try to find her video that she did making the magnesium lotion so you can see her make it, because I'm sure she probably gives a lot better information, more well-rounded information than I do. So stay tuned for me. First things first, before making a lotion product at all, I do like to sanitize my workstation and anything that I may kind of come in contact to. So I do make my own 70% rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. I buy 99% in big jugs and I dilute it down to 70% with some distilled water. I have a couple different pitchers here. I started off using this one, but then I just ran and washed these two, so these are now clean. So I'm going to spray them. My sprayer is not the best right now. Kind of like inside and out. I just want to give it a good spritz. My blender, I'm going to spray, and I just kind of set it right in here. My little pots that I do quite a bit of measuring in, small amounts, I use my smaller scale over here, so I'm going to spritz those. I've already spritzed this for my previous lotion, so this has been spritzed. My lotion that's actually heating on the back counter. So I'm going to grab another one that's clean, but I'm going to spritz it. Spritz this just in case, and I'm going to spritz my scales. Now for my scales, I will go ahead and wipe those off because I don't like to have that alcohol sitting on my scale for very long. I'm afraid it might eat through some of the plastic that's on the scale. So I will go ahead and wipe this off really quickly. And I have a pen over here that I'm going to take notes. I'm going to wipe that down. I will also go on the back counter and just very quickly wipe down my containers. So I'm going to have put a little bit more. I have this container. I wipe it down. I will give them a quick wipe down. That's what I started pulling all of my ingredients before making anything. One of the reasons I did that was so that I wouldn't forget anything and make sure I have everything that I think I have. But the other nice thing is I'm able to just kind of wipe them down. They get a little gunky with just use. And then lastly, I'm going to move my pots. I'm going to spray my counter. So this is now in a sanitized kind of environment. I'm not going to be messing with this. I'm going to try as best as I can to let it air dry. The reason you use 70% alcohol is because it doesn't evaporate as quickly as a 99% alcohol. So that alcohol is able to sit on the surface of whatever you're spraying and getting that sanitized. If it evaporates too quickly, it's not on there long enough to really sanitize the surface. So it is best to try to let these air dry as best as you can. Best case scenario, walk away, let it air dry on its own, and it will be a safer, healthier product in the end. First up is my water phase. I always put my water phase in my smaller pitcher if you have two different sizes, because I pour my water into the oil phase because I don't have to scrape oil, and that makes life easy. I am going to put water in here. Another thing, when you're making a lotion, they do recommend that you do unopened gallon of water, or however you're getting your water. That is a recommendation just because there's no bacteria in this water. I haven't taken the lid off and put it back on a bunch of times. So I just set this aside and then I'll use this for soap from now on. It's not that hard for me to just grab a new jug anytime I want to make lotion. While it's open, I'm just going to pour a little in this little dish here. I don't know, I'm not measuring or anything, but if I need to top this off, I'll heat that up, and so I can put hot water in the any water loss I get from heating. Next, I do only buy this in a, what is it, it's supposed to be 300 grams. But I will weigh this because it wasn't 300 grams when I made it last year. It was 290 grams. So let's see how many grams this bag has. And Keely definitely recommended only buying a small amount of magnesium chloride flakes. This is magnesium chloride flakes. This is in my Amazon storefront, guys. If you want to go check that out, it'll be linked below. But you don't want to have this open on your shelf for much time. You're not going to be making a huge batch of this, or very, very often, like me, maybe once a year. I don't want to have this on my shelf. It does increase your cost, but at least it's not wasting and then throwing it out because it got bad. This time, there's 295 grams in the bag. So my formula has 290 because that's what was in my bag last time. So I'm just going to back off my glycerin by 5 grams, and then that way my formula stays at that nice 100% of everything. So I'm going to tear my scale and then put this back on here. 1034. Write that down. I'm going to cover that with some aluminum foil. Try to keep all that water in there so I don't have to replace it with much. And as soon as my other lotion is out of the pot, I will put this in there to get heating through. So in the meantime, I'm going to get my oil phase ready. First on my list is emulsifying wax. I have my long jug here. I got these at Walmart a number of years ago. And my little shovel here just lives in it. Next is my stearic acid. Doesn't take as much as that. Okay, olive oil is next. And then I'm going to put fractionated coconut oil in here. And my vitamin E. Now Keely does put her vitamin E in her heated oil phase. She has done quite a bit of research on that. Has found that it is perfectly fine to put vitamin E in the oil phase. And it is much easier to incorporate that once it's heated, as opposed to the cool down phase where it does become in a lotion quite a bit more difficult to get that vitamin E incorporated into your rest of your lotion. So I have followed Keely's method and I just started putting my vitamin E in my oil phase. So as soon as my burner is free, those will go on in the double boiler that I have going on. All right, guys, we are ready to combine. I lost 2 grams of water, so I just topped that off. And I'm going to add my water into my oil phase. Get all of that out of there. And start blending. And actually, guys, while it is still quite fluid, I'm going to put it all back in here because this has the handle. This is going to be so much easier for me. So I'm just going to transfer it in there I'm going to scrape. It's quite hot though, so I have, ooh, it's hot. Hot! Very hot right now. Maybe I will hold on for just a second before I scrape that again. But bottling up my bottles will be so much easier in this. I just wasn't sure if it was going to fit, but it does. I love these little things. I got these at IKEA. They have a little handle on them. And somebody helped me out on a comment and went and checked it out for us. They are microwave safe, they're heat safe, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to blend that a little bit more. I'm going to blend again. I'm just going to keep resting and blending until this is below 120, probably closer to that 100, 110 at the most temperature, because that's where I'm going to add my Liquid Dermal Plus, which has to be under like 118 or 120 or something like that. I don't have my bottle in front of me. So I will bring you back when it is cool enough to add in our Liquid Dermal Plus, and I have my essential oil blend here as well, just all ready to go. Tell you what, that Liquid Dermal Plus is viscous and difficult to work with sometimes. I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit more before I go on to packaging them. Before I go any further, I am going to check the pH of this lotion. So how I do that is I'm going to add about 2 ounces, or 2 grams I should say, sorry, 2 grams. And then I'm going to top that with 20 grams of just distilled water. Or top at 220, I should say. So 18 grams of distilled water. And that gives me my 10% solution. I do have a pH meter here, guys. Just a little cup here so I can clean that off and reset that. And I'm going to put it in my little pot here. See what it says. And I have a smiley face and it's 4.53. So that is a lovely pH. I'm going to write that on my paper so I can put that on my notes because I didn't write that down the last time. It's very, very fluid right now, but it will thicken up as it sits. Last year when I made these, I put these in a squeeze tube. These are fine. I just hate labeling these. I just made a lotion with these and I had to use a circle label, which is fine, I guess. I just would prefer not to. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a pump tube this time. And I'm not exactly sure how many ounces I'm going to get in here or how many bottles I'm going to get out of this batch. So let's just see what happens. I don't want to go much over 4.25 simply because I want to keep my price a little bit low on these, and the more I put in here, obviously, the more it's going to cost. Let me see what 4.25 looks like. Well, that's 4.3, but I think that's probably going to be, it's not 100% full. It's right there. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. It's about right there on the bottle. So there's just right before the curve. Let me see what I can do with that. I think I'm going to have to go more than 4.25. I don't think I'm going to get a full 8 or 9 out of this. I don't want it to look like I'm cheating somebody. That's way too full. These are 4.35. Let me put just a tiny bit more in here. All right, so I have 7 at 4.35, and I really don't want to go any less than that. And then I have 1 at 4 ounces. So 7, 5, 1, 4. This will be my tester for my table. Hopefully those aren't still too warm. The problem with doing it super, super hot is you don't want condensation to build up on in your bottle, which, you know, if it was a little bit higher, I wouldn't have to worry about that so much. Part of me thinks maybe I should try to go up to 4.5. I could still do that and still have my tester. I just wouldn't have as much of my tester available. Went ahead and put 4.5 ounces in each bottle, and that gives me about, let's see, I forgot to write this down. I write down my tester amount. 2.85. So in my software, guys, I will write my bottle and the 2.85 of the batch weight. I will write that off as advertising because this is my tester for the table. Once these come to completely room temperature, probably even tomorrow, I will put the little pumps on there and then I'll label them and then we're done. Nice. I'm excited to have this back on my shelf. I need to take new pictures because I changed my packaging. Story of my life is taking pictures and I don't like doing it. So there you go. Here we are. It is done. I just really like having this product on my website and on my craft show table. Do I sell a ton of magnesium lotions? No, I really don't. And they do have to be a little bit more expensive than some of my other items. That those magnesium chloride flakes are quite pricey. And I don't know if I shared this in the video about how you don't want to order a big bulk of it and have it sitting out on your table or on a shelf somewhere. You want to purchase basically what you're going to use fairly quickly. I don't remember why, but Keely knows why, and I just follow what she says to do. I do like having it though for those times when somebody really does like a magnesium cream or lotion. Another thing I wanted to point out are these bottles. I got these like natural bottles from Wholesale Supplies Plus. They were like, what is it? It was either, I don't think it was Rustic Essentials, but it was one of those that they kind of bought. And they were really, really cheap. And I got them in, I'm thinking, I don't even like them. Even if they were cheap, why did I buy them? And I bought like 100. I really like the clear ones better. I think what I was thinking was I might put room sprays in here instead of my clear ones because they do separate on me. But I do like them for lotions. I think it looks like a cute little bottle for a lotion. It's perfectly appropriate. I'm happy I have these. They help offset the cost of the lotion itself because they were very, very cheap. I want to thank Keely for just sharing such a wonderful recipe with us and just being her usual awesome self. And I want to thank you for watching my video. Appreciate that, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Comment. Yeah, do that for me. I am trying really hard to answer all my comments. It is getting more and more difficult for me to get to them, so please keep them coming. I really have trouble getting back to replies, to reply to a reply kind of thing. But I read them all, and I am still trying very hard to keep up on replying to everyone's comments, but I see that being harder and harder in the future, so don't hate me for that, but I love reading them and I will read every single one of them. You guys are awesome. I hope to see you next week. Bye.